Hey, strong people, do you need to start 2018 off right? New training program, new diet, all of that stuff everyone talks about. If so, head over to store.startingstrongman.com, pick up one of our training templates for just $15 a month. If you use the code STRONGTALK, it brings the cost down to just $10.50 a month for proven programming for the sport of strongman delivered right to your phone through an app. Go to store.startingstrongman.com. Also visit our store for all of your training needs, from belts, knee sleeves, wraps, apparel, anything you need for strongman. Make store.startingstrongman.com your first stop for all of your training needs. If you want to start a new diet, check out renaissanceperiodization.com. Check out their training templates. They do have training templates, their auto diet templates, and more at renaissanceperiodization.com. If you want to get leaner while maintaining or even improving your strength, if you want to bulk up without getting too deconditioned and over fat, go to renaissanceperiodization.com. Also got some new ebooks out, etc., on training volume. Their ebook Scientific Principles of Strength is one of the best resources if you're looking to how to implement proven studies and methods into your own training. You can also, to support the show, consider becoming a supporting member at patreon.com/startingstrongman. Check it out for unique little perks and swag for being a supporting member. And you can go to our Amazon shop and buy anything through Amazon to help support this show and startingstrongman.com. Just go to amazon.com/shop/startingstrongman for everything you need. I mean, it's Amazon. It has everything. But instead of just going straight to Amazon, go to amazon.com/shop/startingstrongman. And we get a little kickback, and it helps put out more free content like this. This week's guest is Charles Mitchell III, Trey Mitchell III. We have a discussion on why he's called Trey, even though his name's Charles. Trey had just won Strongman Corporation Amateur Nationals in November, and then won the official Strongman Games Giants Live qualifier. So he's one of the newest pro strongmen, and he's gonna get ready to go out and do a Giants Live, try to qualify for World's Strongest Man. It starts off a little slow, then we get into a groove, and there's some good stories mixed in. Me and my co-host Mike Battolino talk about this. Mike's been telling me about Trey for a long time, and he's a really hardworking, up-and-coming strongman who's someone I think you're gonna want to listen to this, because he's his name's going to be popping up a lot more in the coming years. So without further ado, listen to this week's episode with Trey Mitchell III. Welcome to Strong Talk Podcast. I'm Kalle Beck, joined by my co-host for today, Michael Battolino, and Strongman Corporation Nationals winner, newest heavyweight pro, and also the winner of the Giants Live qualifier. Goes by many names. We're going to get into that. That's Trey Mitchell, Charles Mitchell III, and Berserker Lifter. So I want to go, what's the proper way to introduce you?
All my friends, they call me Trey. Yeah. Friends, they call me that. Usually around here where I live in Texas, if you're the third, you go by Trey.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that was a...
Dude, is that really... That's it? How did I... Yeah. Wow. For years,
yeah,
for the longest time, I had no idea.
Yeah,
wow.
I met a couple of people, like their name was Trey, and it turns out that's a third of their line of friends, their family.
No, because I was telling Kalle, whenever I would see him, like, who the hell is Charles Mitchell? And then they would say Trey. I'm like, oh yeah, Trey. And then I connected the two finally. I'm like, Charles Mitchell won. No, Trey won. Now we know. That was right off the bat. All right, well, that's a podcast, Kalle. That's the question. Yeah. That was the burning question.
And thanks for listening, and we'll talk to y'all next week. That's interesting. So that's like a Texan thing. If you're the third, then you're Trey instead of Junior or whatever.
Yeah.
You're the second.
I like it.
Yeah. I like it too. So, I want to get into, you've been doing this for a bit, but you're still young. How did you actually find out about strongman training? And we've gotten around that you live down in Texas, so that's out of the way.
Yeah.
But like, how did you actually find out about it down there?
And, internet, just looking at those old videos of, like, Marius Pusnowski and Sven Carlson, them working out, and, like, that's cool. I like it. Like, how did I get into that kind of stuff, watching those older guys compete and everything.
So you just saw some videos of all the other guys training. But
Yeah.
how old were you back then when you got interest in it?
Like, really gotten into it, I was maybe 14 and 15, but I wasn't figuring out how the training went until I was maybe 18 or so. That's when I really got into it.
Did you do any
watching the videos when
Yeah. Did you do any contests back then? Like when you were like 16,
yeah,
15?
No, not until I was 18. My first competition, I was still in high school. My senior year.
Yeah, and were you playing other sports, or you just concentrated solely on strongman?
Yeah, I got into football like in high school, and that's when I kind of really got into working out a lot more, like doing the weight training and everything. After football ended my senior year, I was just like, what else can I do? And I was like, how can I get into all that stuff that I saw on TV and on the internet, strongman and everything. So like after football, I looked up competitions and hey, there's one in Houston. Let's see if I can do that. And that's my first competition.
How did that
January.
go? What kind of experience was it doing your first contest, being only 18?
It was a little nervous since I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't have any equipment that I needed to train on at the time. I just I had a couple of small tires, some like concrete rocks I found around the place. I just would pick them up, carry them. I would flip the tire or drag it with a chain. Just anything I could think of.
And that's along with doing like normal gym stuff, right? You weren't just out there and like
Yeah.
Rocky IV. Was it Rocky IV, Mike?
I
think
was
so.
it 4 with Drago and the training in the winter. Now that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it seems like most training sessions for you in the. What do you call the gym you're in? Do you call it the barn?
It was the garage.
The garage, okay.
Yeah.
And is it literally the garage?
Yeah. It's just a garage where we keep supplies and everything in. Yeah, just made a little corner that I can use.
And you just you slowly built up your equipment over time, just getting a little piece here and there?
Yeah, when I have the money to buy something I need.
Yeah, so that's a different approach than, I think a lot of people, like, that was more common, like 10-ish years ago, like when I started, but now it seems like everyone has this, they're all going to, some gym that has literally everything you need. They're just popping up more and more, these, even more, CrossFit gyms or whatever. But there's not too many people at a high level, it seems, that are just doing it, in the corner of a storage building or garage or whatever with just everything they buy, not train with a training crew too much. Do you ever, train with other people, or are you just mainly just sitting out there and do it almost exclusively by yourself?
Yeah, it's pretty much exclusively by myself. I have friends every once in a while. They'll come hang out with me, but they're nowhere near my strength, so this basically me by myself and some friends hanging out every so often, but very few and far between doing that. Like, I've had people every so often, hey, I want to come do strongman with you, but they never last.
And what part of Texas are you in?
Southeast Texas. It's about an hour and a half east of Houston.
So
where did Obi just move?
Houston.
Yeah.
Obi just moved to Houston? Well.
Yeah. I think he's on the east side, too.
Yeah.
There you go.
It'd be fun. You guys get a couple training sessions in, I think. Push each other a little bit.
I think I think that would make some good videos. Some good till the wheels fall off videos. Obi'd probably have some good questions for you. He'd be like, "What's up with the hat? Do I need a hat?"
Yeah, when you're in Texas, you need a cowboy hat.
Okay, so before I met you in 2012, had you had done what, like Teen Nationals? You'd done Teen Nationals for Strongman Corp, right? Or for NAS at the time? What had you done until that point?
Okay. My first competition was 2012 in January.
Okay.
That was my first one. Yeah. Then after that, Travis Orsemeyer, he put on a competition over in, where was it, Conroe, Texas, somewhere over there by Houston, and that was May. And then I did the Team Nationals in July.
And you won that, right?
No, I came in second.
Who beat you at Team Nationals?
I think it was a Rob Bentley. I haven't seen him since that competition. Like, he was a strong guy. He basically just did what barely enough to know he could win the competition. Like,
Kalle, do you recognize that name?
Event
No, I don't.
I'm sorry, Trey. The only event what?
Like, the only event I won in that competition was the keg toss. That was, basically because I threw hay bales in my life.
Did you, were there stones at the end?
No, I was expecting there to be stones. Like, y'all know that cow patty Atlas stone I have. I made that because I expected there was going to be a Atlas stone at that competition.
So that was the first stone
turned out there wasn't going to be. Yeah. The first stone I ever made.
That stone is going to be, I mean, when you're all done with Strongman, like, that particular stone will be legendary. Because I think more people comment on that stone. And actually, someone asked a question about that stone. They called it the Cupcake Stone.
Oh, yeah, Chad? Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually came to train with me one day, and he tried to pick it up. He said it was the most difficult thing he's tried. And he's picked up a 400, he told me. It's just like, he says it's just so awkward to pick up.
So
not that it's heavy, it's just awkward.
The Husafel Stone, there'll be the Denny Stones, there'll be the Lewis Sears / Derek Poundstone Stone, and then there'll be Trey Mitchell's Cupcake Stone.
Is it cupcake or cow patty? we got to establish it right now.
Yeah, cupcake or cow patty? Which one?
Either one works with me.
Well, let's put it to a vote.
Chad is the only one I think thinks is a cupcake.
That's because Chad thinks everything's a cupcake, but I'm gonna say my official word is the cow patty, because if we're talking about legendary like manhood stones, you got to travel to Southeast Texas and lift up the cow patty. It just fits.
I like that. That sounds good.
So
yeah, let's go with that one.
So what is the deal with the stone? It's like I'm trying to describe it. I'm trying to look at it in a second here, but it's like a weird, like, it's very flat, like kind of like a disc. Just like a blob of concrete. How much does that thing weigh?
When we originally weighed it, it was 275, but, little chips here and there from stuff hitting it and dropping it. It could be, 270 right now.
Yeah, it's a how'd you go about making that? Because I feel like you've gotten a little bit better at making stones, since then.
Yeah, I actually bought them old. That's why. The cow patty was made. Those exercise balls that you blow up. Big old. Yeah, we bought one of those. Just dug a hole in the ground and cut a hole in the top of it and filled it with concrete, and that's how it came about.
So
that's why it's like lumpy on that roundish side. It's so lumpy. It was sitting on the ground, and it was flat on top because we didn't fill it all the way up.
Gotcha.
It was concrete.
Gotcha.
That's awesome.
You ever try pressing that thing?
A couple of times. It didn't turn out right.
I bet you could press it.
Maybe if I tried it with leg drive, when I did it, it was only trying to strict press it.
So you couldn't quite get this odd shaped, flat but lumpy on one side 270 strict press. That's okay.
Yeah. Always try harder,
Yeah. So yeah, you do teen nationals. 2000. You start competing. You get second at teen nationals your first year. Do a couple contests. You meet Mike. I want to take it off from there. First, I want to ask Mike, what was your impressions when you see this? He's like 18 years old. Farm strong. He's just said you won the keg toss because you've been chucking hay your whole. The keg toss because you've been chucking hay bales your whole life. What was your impression, Mike?
I remember it vividly. So it was David Hamilton's competition at the end of the Authentic Strength Strongman Classic or something like that. It was me, Trey, my buddy Mark Whistler. We've remained really good friends. Austin Hay, who've also become really good friends. Luke Herrick. I think we all know who Luke is. And, gosh, Cody Russell wasn't at that one. There were at least that many. There were at least 5 or 6 of us. And right before the last event, which was the stones, it was a 330 stone for reps, and I had never loaded the 330, but I had lapped it a couple times. So someone walks up to me, a nice lady, and she goes, "Are you Mike?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "You're winning right now." And I was like, "Not for long," because I looked at Trey, and I was like, he's going to be really good at stones. And I didn't know that was your mom. So that was your mom that had said, you're in the lead right now. So I do a couple reps on the stones. Austin does a few reps. And then Trey, I think you did 7 or 8. And I just remember looking at him like, Jesus. Like you were just throwing the stone over it easily. And that was my first, I was like, that dude's going to go to Worlds one day. I was like, watch. And, yep. That was, just over 5 years ago. Almost close to the day, like 5 years and a couple weeks. Yeah. And then from there, there was a little bit of a time lapse. There were a couple more competitions in there. But the next time that I really remember, something very memorable was when you did stones at the end of the next Authentic Strength Strongman Classic in the beginning of 2014. And you had zeroed the log, and I knew you were pissed because you came in too heavy. And you almost pressed it 7 times. Like you almost had it locked out. And then when you did the stones at the end, I think Cody had done one. It was like the Trump stone. And
yeah, that's what they called it.
Yeah, the Trump stone. And it was like 430, and you used tacky for the first time, right? That was the first time you'd ever touched tacky?
Yes.
Okay, and you hit 5 with the 430 stone, and I was just like, what the heck? I was like, what the hell? And everyone else felt the same way. We're all like, what is going on? But that's still one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I was just so pissed off.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you were just in. I wish we could hear the sounds that were coming. Like you can hear it a little bit on the audio, but no one else could feel the depth of those screams unless you were in that room, and just the rage that went into it. It was awesome. It was awesome. Kalle?
Yeah, is that where the berserker lifter kind of thing comes from? Because you're a quiet, modest guy, but you kind of you bring it out. It doesn't really if you talk to you or meet you in person, it doesn't meet what you have your Instagram handle as. So is that like an internal thing that comes out when you're lifting?
Yeah, you got all those bottled up emotions, from life and things that happened to you when you were younger, and just you want to channel some stuff when you want to use as much as you can when you're lifting. And I just, kind of got a little angry every time I, would go for those big lifts, those higher reps sets, and just, always, always enjoyed, mythology and everything, especially North. Yeah. So that's where it kind of came about from those berserkers.
Yeah, I totally get it. So what goes through your mind? Like you're saying, you kind of channel all that when there's a stone. You're what, probably 20 or so at that time, and everyone goes up, and it's supposed to be like a challenge stone. Like if you can get this, you beat everything else. Trump stone. Which means you're maybe one, maybe two guys are supposed to get a rep on it. Then you do it for five. That's not what's supposed to happen. And I assume you haven't done a weight like that previously. If that was the first time touching tacky. So what makes you how do you approach an event like that, which is supposed to be something that's not doable, and then you just manhandle it?
It's been so long. It's just you.
Well, there could be other examples where you just like how you did at nationals with the stone of steel, and you're just throwing it over when everyone else is getting 3 or 4 reps, and you're one motion in like 8 in a row, stuff like that. But just that same kind of feeling. How do you approach an event like that?
Yeah, it's just kind of growing up, people used to say you can't do anything like this. You're just a fat ass, things like that. Like when I was younger, I was bullied, so I always wanted to prove people wrong. Like before I kind of started into weightlifting, I would just do running and stuff, get in that, meditation state, just mind goes blank and you just do it. You don't think about anything, you just run. But like when it goes to like those heavy sets, just, people tell me I can't do something, I just want to prove them wrong.
Yeah, I think you've done plenty of that. Especially it seems like you really you're always kind of been right there. A couple times, a little mistake here or there, just one bad event. But this year has went extremely well for you, especially the last half. So, and really coming into your own. So, I think you've definitely done that. But on that, when's the last time you went running though?
Oh, since I was in football, I guess.
Yeah.
I think I've tried when maybe 2014, I was trying to lose some body fat, and I would run, and I would do maybe some morning walks. But yeah, that's pretty much the last time I actually ran.
Right on. And is that because I kind of feel like, I had a similar approach when I started strongman. Just want to kind of prove myself as an athlete when maybe I didn't have the best success in other sports, and everyone's I got a lot of that, like you're so small, how can you do that? Why do you think you're going to be able to do that? And I definitely used to have that kind of motivation. And I think that's one of the reasons I like training alone too, because it's like you're not getting the negative reinforcement that you maybe got the rest of your life in circumstances. You're just kind of like in that solitude, and you're building to be everything that you can end up being in your mind, when other people maybe didn't think it. So I think that's some of the positives that there could be to training alone. But do you find any, because you're not training on a turf with every single piece of equipment out there, and some of it's like gravel with yoke, etc. Do you find any of that hinders your training, or do you have to modify things a little bit doing it, with limited equipment, and by yourself without a whole crew?
Yeah, it's definitely like, like if the weather's bad, you can't really go outside and train. I don't have an indoor gym, so that's definitely hard. Like doing yoga. Like back when I was younger, I did, and first starting out, I didn't really care. It could be raining, and as long as the equipment wasn't slipping off, I would still go lift. And like even if doing yoke in the grass, like I would got up to like 900 pounds in my backyard training like that. But I think it would actually help because like the ground's softer, is kind of uneven. You're finding harder to make it go faster.
Yeah, and then once you get to a show and it's a nice hard packed surface, you find you pick up a little bit more time, or the same weight feels a lot easier on your back.
Yeah, like I always do better in the competition than in training.
So, how do you structure your training overall? Let's say just leading up to nationals this year.
Like mostly my training's like a on off, like a heavy week, a light week. Like the heavy weeks, I try and either hit the comp weight or go a little heavier than the competition. And then lighter weeks, I just go lighter with higher repetitions, work on maybe conditioning and everything. Like, and as I get closer to the competitions, I would maybe more often just stay at either right below the competition weight or the competition, or the weight for the competition.
Yeah, and you're doing it. You're changing that up each week, and then are you doing it 3 days a week, 4 days a week?
I train 6 days a week.
So pretty much every day. You do
yeah.
Doing that, do you just hit like a couple lifts that each day, and then kind of like you're not hitting 5, 6 exercises a day, or you just limiting it, or you just training real high volume?
It's more like kind of bodybuilding style. Like deadlift days, I do the deadlift. Like if it's for a competition, I'll try and simulate the competition deadlift. Like for nationals, it was farmers deadlifts, and afterwards I would do back and some glutes and hamstrings. And for like shoulder, it would be a shoulder day. I would do shoulder presses with the log, and then do shoulders and tricep accessories, things like that. And then I have 2 days of events, which to me events are the carrying and the loading events, because I already get the deadlift and the pressing kind of styles during the week.
Right. So you're basically doing like a body part split with the events of the main movements, and then extra days of loading and carrying. Makes sense.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I know I enjoy training that way. I find it, you get the one heavy thing out of the way, then you just go to town on volume and get a pump.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you're a heavyweight pro now. You qualified to go to a Giants Live, which is a qualifier for World's Strongest Man. So I'm going to assume that's the next goal is to figure out which one of those you want to get to. But so you've accomplished a lot. You're obviously naturally strong if you're getting second at Teen Nationals just a couple months into training. But what are some of your big lifts out there, just so people get an idea of what you're doing? Like,
well, my best stone is what you already talked about, is the 430 for 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best I've ever done. The heaviest stone and the most reps. But let's see. The best deadlift, like I've had some back injuries, so deadlift has been held back for quite a bit. But I've done 785 in the gym. Yeah. let's see,
Right under
for
800.
lock, yeah, right under 8. Like, I've gotten 800 to my knees a couple of times. I can't quite get it past the locking, the sticking point.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Log press, I've hit a 390 log on my log, the little 10-inch one. Let's see, 3 times already. Yeah, haven't quite got that 400.
Yeah. So you're kind of right under that 4 and 8 mark, but
Yeah.
But your axle, you've hit 405, right?
I've hit 405 out of the rack in training, and in a competition I hit 405 clean and press.
Right on. Yeah. So going into nationals this year, you've been to a couple before. You've always been right there. You've been on the podium at a couple platinum pluses. When was it in the contest where you're like, all right, I think this one I have? Was there a moment, or was it?
I think it was right after the Husafelt that day. Like, I won the Husafelt, and it's just like that's probably the best I could do. Won the log press and tied for first with 2 other guys on that deadlift, and 2 first places on day 1. Just had to maintain it and give it my all on that axle. Not the axle. On the Atlas Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember you had a pretty good lead going into the last event, which is a Stone of Steel for reps, and there's some people are putting up some high numbers, and of course you're leading, so you're in the last heat, and it got intense. I was over there screaming at you. Mike was really screaming at you.
I couldn't talk for 2 days or 3 days.
Yeah,
I couldn't
in the
talk.
airport.
Yeah, I couldn't talk.
And you put what was the weight on that thing, and you're just throwing it like it just. Like other people are throwing reps over, but they're picking it up, they're putting it in a lap. It just looks like you put your arms around it, like softly put your arms around it, and you just kind of stand up. It looks like the same amount of effort as if you were just like getting up from like tying your shoes with that thing the first couple reps. So it's just
that was 360.
Yeah, 360, and you're just kind of. It's not like you don't extend fast. It's just like you just slowly rise your body with it, and it just looks almost effortless. I know you're putting a lot of effort into it, but
you won motion the first 4 or 5, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you even.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think it was 5.
Yeah.
Then how many ended up hitting? Like around 10 or 11?
I got 10.
Yeah.
I was getting a little worried, with all the guys going against me, ahead of me. There was 7, and I think someone got 8. And it's like, I'm gonna have to give it my all. And there was this one time it slipped, and it was like a little panic right there, but was able to pull through.
Yeah, it was. I think one motion in the first 5 gave you that time difference to be able to get 10, because doing 10 reps. Especially
at any weight.
Yeah. You got 60 seconds. You're doing a rep at least every 6 seconds. It has to be, pushed back to you. You're moving. Especially the heavyweights. You might see a lot of, some of the lightweight women are a little quicker going, getting them over and stuff. But, get the heavyweight guys doing, 360 10s. That's a feat for sure. So then you get it over. They say 10. You won the event. What was that like? You pretty much know right there. You finally got that pro card you've been working for.
Yeah, it was just cloud 9 for weeks afterwards. So excited that I finally got it after 5 years of competing, and I think my first platinum plus was 2014. So 4 years of 3 years of just going for it and finally getting it.
Yeah, definitely. But then you said for a couple weeks. So did you ride that momentum into going to the official Strongman Games Giants Live qualifier? Because, that was only about a month later.
Yeah, it was, just excited and everything. Like, I usually take a week off of training after heavy competition just to get my body to recover. But, this, I just had to jump right back into it. It was a little light the first couple of training sessions, but after those couple of days, I just had to jump right back into it, trying to get ready for it.
Yeah.
And, go ahead.
Yeah, and were you training, were you mixing it? Obviously, there's some of the events carry over to each other, like both had a yoke, you had a log in each one and stuff, so it kind of carries over. You had a frame deadlift and you have a frame carry, but were you training any of the other events that you weren't going to see leading up, before nationals, or did you strictly do those events like once nationals was over?
No, I just strictly trained for nationals, and afterwards I did the official Strongman Games. They were pretty much similar the entire time. The only thing I pretty much added into was the truck pull.
Mm-hmm.
Then you bought the Exergenie from StartingStrongman.com.
Yeah.
Hey, get to plug that in there.
Yeah, guys, in there, man.
Hey, it worked. I mean, that thing is. Did you ever crank it really up and you can't even move it at some point. Whatever. I don't know how they designed that or how they made those settings, but I'm like, who can move this?
Yeah, I had the same thing. There was this one setting where it was difficult, but I can pretty much do the entire 60 foot, but I just do one or two clicks. I could barely move it.
Yeah. You're like, oh, that's it. And I don't know if you noticed this too, but as the weather changed, the setting that you used it on a couple weeks ago might not be the same setting. So you're like, oh, well, what works for today? So
yeah,
it's good though.
Trained.
It was much easier than borrowing a fire truck,
Yeah, I like it. It works great, especially since I train by myself. I have friends. I have a couple of friends in the local fire department. I could probably convince them to let me use a fire truck for a day, but I don't like to put that on them.
Well, before you go to World's Strongest Man, borrow the freaking fire truck.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I think
that would be definitely something I want to try.
Oh yeah.
I think they can understand that.
Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully the local fire department be like, hey, I'm just trying to be the strongest man in the world right now. Can I just get a little lap in with the fire truck? But
run off.
So how? I think if I'm remembering right, you came. You went in. I think Stan Carradine was winning the official Strongman Games. In the in your category after day one, and you're in there, but you're back a little bit. Then they normalize the points. So, what place were you in going into day two?
Yeah, after the score change and everything they do for day two athletes, I was in 6th place. And, before they did the change and everything, I was in 4th. But what they did on day two, they acted like the guys that didn't make top 10 didn't even compete. Mm-hmm. So if you got in 3rd place, but on one event, but the two guys ahead of you didn't make it to day two, you automatically got 1st place on that event.
Sure, yeah, because then you got 10 out of 10 points because, they're just acting like the other one. Yeah, I went back and forth. It was a new idea. I don't think I've seen that implemented anywhere else. That kind of normalization, because they cut from 30, 20 something to 30 athletes down to 10 for the day two.
Yeah.
So there has to be some way to, make it fair with the scores. And I think it's a good solution. It seemed to work. I kind of keep going back on if it, I'm undecided.
Yeah.
But so, so you're in 6 out of 10, you're more towards the bottom than the top, and there's only 2 events to make
Yeah.
up the points in. So, how do you approach that? Because you at least want to make top 3, because top 3 all qualify for a Giants Live.
Yeah. Well, the way I compete, I just want to give it my all in every event. I know some people, they have a little strategy going into each one, but to me, I just want to give it my all. I want to try and win every event. And going into that truck pull, I just try and take deep breaths, get ready, give it a hard pull, and just gun it. And it worked out for me.
Who ended up letting you borrow their shoes for the truck? Who was that?
This new guy from Georgia. I think he's just started competing last year.
Oh, okay.
Justin Kilhofer.
Yeah, he's a strong guy. I met him out at the North Carolina contest, the Mid Atlantic.
Yeah. We've been talking online a couple of times, and then we finally met each other at the Nationals this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great guy and really strong. He's got that 400 on the log.
Yeah, no, he's a really strong presser. Did you find that there was he had like a different type of shoe work because it was indoors versus asphalt than what you had?
I didn't have any truck pulls, some rock climbing shoes for doing truck pulls to train with.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I had some sneakers that worked pretty well on the asphalt, and I tried feeling it out on the indoors. It didn't feel much different, but I still wanted to use the rock climbing shoes for truck pull.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line. It seems that whether that's the difference or not, you don't want to take that chance. Yeah. And you got first place on the truck pull, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pulled it. And then
22.88 seconds.
Yeah, that's moving.
What did Zadrunas get?
He got 0.5 seconds faster than me.
Well, that's not too shabby. Versus the greatest of all time, Trey. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah,
so
you beat
Vitas Baklidis on that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he got second in the Masters. It's pretty awesome.
Were you looking, because Zadrunas is competing in the Masters division, but I think the weights were the same.
Yeah, they were.
So you kind of peek over, obviously, if he's 0.5 seconds faster, you kind of peeking over on how your time, because you weren't competing directly against each other, but I mean, you could make your own score sheet like you were. Did you ever, you kind of looked into that a little bit, see how you stacked up against Big Z during the contest?
After the contest, I worried about that. I looked at it, I almost beat Z here, I was this 0.6 seconds faster than this, but yeah, I don't really worry about that stuff during the contest.
No, but after it's you kind of have to. You gotta it's
it's how I stack up against the greatest.
Yeah, and the level you're now that you're a newer pro and gonna try to qualify for World's Strongest Man, you kind of want to see where what it's like against your peers.
Yeah.
Does that feel pretty good? And you look and you're like, oh, I'm kind of a step off or a step ahead, and here or there.
Yeah, it feels real good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm real excited, how I stack up against those guys.
For sure. So then you go into stones. They had a 6-stone series. We've went over that you're pretty good at stones. How'd that stone run go? And what was the last weight on him? Was it 400 or 420? 6-1.
The 5th stone that everybody stopped at couldn't get was 400, and the 6th stone they had was 420.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's starting around 330-ish.
Yeah, it was 300, 320, 350, 375, 400, and the 425.
And
Did I do that right?
do you know what you picked up points in the truck pool? Do you know what placing you were in going into the stones?
Yeah, I was in 4th place going into the stones.
Jeez.
And yeah, that bumped me up, especially since Stan, some reason he just didn't do good on that truck pull. He got last place. So having the getting first place going into the day, get last on an event, and me getting first place, that bumped me up quite a bit.
Yeah, you pick up 9 points right there.
Yeah.
It's kind of how you need it to go when you're 6 going into an event. You know, when you got 2 events and you're in 6th place. So you approach stones. You're not in the last heat because you know you're in 4th place.
Yeah, second to last.
Yeah, so you're in the second to last heat. You've seen how a couple of people went, but everyone ahead of you they haven't went yet, and that's kind of what matters at that point. Were you thinking you're trying to win the whole contest at this point, or you just want the best stone run, or I'm just going to do as good as I can so I get on the podium because you just want to get that qualifier?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get first place. I was just at least get the podium, second or third. But yeah, getting first on that stone run, that was an amazing deal. Like, I got that 5th stone. No one else was able to get it, but I got that. In Jill Mills, she said 60 seconds. That's what he got it. He got it right there on the whistle, and they gave it to me.
A little Texan support right there, maybe.
We were all like, I was off to the side, and I'm like, did he get it? Did he get it? So, and we couldn't tell for a few seconds. It was very, we're like a little nervous, but it was, hey, you got it. It's badass.
Yeah.
Hey, so real quick, look at, what did you say your time on the truck pull was?
I think I might have messed up. It might have been 23.88 seconds.
Okay, so Sojournus is at 23.55. I was looking at it right now to see, because he just barely had you on the stones. Yeah, you were at 23.88, so he was 0.3 seconds faster than you on the truck, or on the truck pull. And then your car deadlift, you both hit. Let's see, so you hit 13 reps on the car deadlift too, right?
Yeah, I got 13 on the car deadlift.
Yeah, so did Sojournus. Man, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
that's real cool. So,
not a bad day, Trey. Not a bad day.
It was a great weekend competing.
Yeah, for sure.
Great month.
What?
A great month. November, December for you.
Yeah, good 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So you're going in, like, you're trying to you get to the 400-pound stone. No one else has loaded it yet, and your time's running short. You load it. You're the only. Well, there's still people to go, but were you trying to rush it, or are you worried about the clock at that point, or you just weren't?
Yeah, I probably rushed it a little bit. I could have reapplied tacky before I went to that 400 to get it quicker. But yeah, I kind of rushed it.
Yeah. Too excited for it. So,
Yeah, too excited.
Have you had any talks with the people at Giants Live? Do you know what, because you qualified to do one of the Giants Live contests, and those are a qualifier for Worlds. Do you have any idea when or where you're going to do one at?
No, we still haven't talked to each other yet. I haven't got no one got in contact with me.
Yeah,
waiting on it. Calling Bryce.
You got your passport and everything in order?
Still working on that.
Yeah, I get on that because sometimes how that goes, it's like, hey, can you do this one in 3 weeks or whatever? So yeah, make sure you get all that.
Wasn't Dimitar the first one that asked you if you had your passport ready?
Oh yeah, he contacted me one time. You want to do this competition, this team competition in Russia? And it's like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, when is it? Like next month. And it's like, okay, I ain't gonna need my passport. But turns out, like, they canceled the competition, so like I didn't worry about it afterwards. I didn't think I have anything.
Yeah.
Hey, well, you never know. They're doing the World's Strongest Man finals again, right? Next September. Are they doing that again, Kale?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're
They
doing
already
that
got
again.
tickets sold.
So you better get on that, Trey. You never know. They invited Iron Bibby this year. So
yeah, I would.
And I'm not sure which competition he used to qualify for that, but I mean they invited him, so you definitely have a shot.
Yeah, well, he did pretty good at the
Was it
the North Americas?
The North America, that's what it was, because he got second to Rob. That's what it was.
No, he didn't get second. He got
no.
Nick got he was off the podium, but he had a couple good events and.
Oh, he had a great press medley, right?
Yeah, he won that, or got second in that, and then.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was in first for a bit, but then he dropped off after. Because I just don't. I think at that time he just didn't really know how to do stones or anything. Then he had a good run at the finals. So
Trey, you just got to make yourself known by never. You always have to have the cowboy hat on, no matter where you're at.
Even right now.
Just like wake up in the morning, just put it on, and it just stays there, and then that'll be part of your mystique. They catch you for an interview, coming out of the locker room, and you just have a towel and the cowboy hat. And that'll be
coming out like the shower.
Yeah, exactly. Do you wear that everywhere? Everywhere.
So
yeah, it's more of a dress stuff. Whenever I go out, on the town, and I don't really wear it during the summer. It gets kind of hot.
Sure.
But yeah.
Just when you got to fancy it up.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we got to talk about the deadlift shorts. You got this.
Yeah. I knew that was coming.
I just remembered it. You almost got away with it.
I forgot about that. Good call, Kev. Good call.
We got to talk. You got the most tattered pair of shorts in existence, probably. And people, I'll repost one of your videos on Starting Strong when people someone buy this guy a new pair of shorts. He can't. So we got to. What is the deal? Is this superstition or what with the
No.
They're not even shorts anymore. They're shorter than Anthony Furman's freaking booty shorts he wears.
That's debatable.
Yeah, but they're my deadlift shorts. I'm cheap. I don't like to spend a lot of money. But starting out, just deadlifting, I would do so much. I would wear some shorts. I'll wear them when I deadlift, and after a while, I'll see a little tear in them. I was like, that sucks. But I wear them again to get a little more reps. And okay, I'm just gonna wear these to deadlift in, so none of my others will get ripped when I deadlift with them on. And just slowly got bigger and bigger and bigger. I actually had two, and one of them got caught on a bench. They got caught on a bench, and it ripped the tire side off. So now I only have one.
Oh man,
yeah.
There's something else though. I gotta. We end up, if I ever get figured out for the men's shorts, for the Starting Strongman ones, I'm gonna have to send you some so they end up being turning into the new deadlift shorts.
Did you wash them while they were like that?
Yeah, I can wash them while they're like that. Yeah. I don't walk around with stinky shorts all the time. Yeah.
Hey, you can leave them out there. Leave sleeves out there for a couple of years in the gym. Just don't bring them in the house.
Get changed in the gym. But yeah, if you make those shorts, make them extra thick in the front.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll see. So how long does it take, for a pair of shorts to get that's been your same shorts you've been using since 18 or what?
I think it maybe 19 is when those pairs started. I had another pair that actually that I wore when I deadlift, but they got, completely ripped in the crotch and on the backside just from wear and tear. And this pair that I still wear, they've lasted the longest. They've lasted since maybe 2014, maybe around the winter of 2014. They've been with me for a long time.
I would say they're durable and that you should, give whatever company they are a shout out, but I don't know if they want to be. I don't know if that's durable though. If like the entire front of them's basically missing after a deadlift's being dragged up the thigh. I don't know if the company would want the association or not.
Well, they're just Nike shorts.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I want to go with one more Trey moment.
Go for it.
All right. So, do you remember the Houston competition, Trey, at the end of October 2013 that Roger Ortmeyer put on, and Travis was there as well? Do you remember that? We did the Fingal with the Fingles fingers.
Yeah, before national, my first nationals. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had the Fingles fingers, and it was me, you, Chris Loop, and Moose. And Moose and Chris had both done the Fingles fingers before, and they did pretty well. And then you had never touched Fingles fingers, and I was like, this should be interesting. And they flew up. So that was super impressive. But then at the end, this was a real fun moment. So, Kalle, this is some strongman trivia for you. If you were doing a last man standing stone load, how heavy in between stones would you go for a jump? If let's say you start at 300, what would your jumps be?
Well, I'd be done, but
for heavyweight, what would if you were giving them, if you bringing out stones for the athletes, what would your stones be?
As a promoter, probably.
As a promoter,
30, 40 pounds.
Okay, so like 300 to 330.
Yeah.
So what would your next jump after?
360,
okay, so
then maybe 380, then 4, something like that. Seems fair.
Do you think 330 to 460 is too big of a jump?
I mean, not if the contest is being put on by Travis Ortmeyer. Like that makes sense.
We all did the 300 and the 330, and then something happened to the 400, so all they had left was a 460. So we all did the 330, and they were like, "All right, who wants to try the 460?" So they looked at me, and I was like, "No, like I'm not even gonna try to crack it off the ground." And then Chris and Moose both didn't budge it. And then I swear that you got a little air on it, Trey. Do you remember that?
I think I got maybe an inch.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And even Travis went over and gave it a go just because, he's the Texas Stone man. But yeah, so I don't know where that stone is, but it can't be that far from you. So maybe, I know Travis isn't down there anymore. So hey, if
I think
donate that stone. Who has it?
Yeah, I think he gave all his equipment to Moose. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay, well there you go. And the Fingles fingers, because that was a sweet set of Fingles fingers.
I'm not sure about the Fingles fingers.
It was just a field of Fingles. I mean, it was like a dream come true for like getting ready for Worlds, Kalle.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a full run of Fingles fingers, and we only did the warm up Fingles fingers. The first one at Worlds was the next one. Yeah, he had a heavier set. But that was a cool competition. So you got to get vengeance on that stone, Trey.
Yeah, 460. I want to make a new Atlas stone pretty soon. Something over 400.
I think I gotta ask. I know Obi's been training. He's training for Worlds right now, so I think he's got some heavier stones he's building. So I gotta see what they have up there. Do a little stone off with them. That'd be fun. A little last man standing with a 400.
Dude, tell you what, you got you, Obi, Ortmeyer, Martins. That would be a hell of a stone lifting day.
Jesus.
That would be badass. All in Texas. And you have to wear the hat, of course.
Awesome.
While doing the lift.
Yeah, for sure. So what's you're waiting on, you got to get your passport in order, waiting on what Giants Live. Are you specifically just waiting for that, or you got other stuff you're planning on doing?
I'm planning on doing this. I'm planning on doing this competition up in Plano. If you win it, they're giving an expense paid trip to Australia to compete in the Arnold there. Mm-hmm. And I'm planning on trying that out.
And that's only in like 2-3 weeks, huh?
Yeah, it's January the 20th.
Is Gabe going to do that with you?
I think Gabe's still worried. He's putting on a competition himself, so I think he's just worrying about that right now.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the contest weights, I was like, I'm gonna text this to Trey and Gabe, because I'm certainly not going to do this, but it's a great opportunity for them. It's a great opportunity for someone, so that'd be awesome if you could win that.
Yeah, get down there, go to the Arnold, Australia, which I believe is usually sometime around April-ish. So, you win that, and go down there, and then you kind of start, getting on the circuit and seen by everyone. That sounds like a perfect plan to me.
So, Trey, if you wanted to make a new stone, you could. The 22 Slater ends up at 400. You could throw some lead in there to make it like 450. But this is some more G-Wiz information. Do you know what the heaviest stone mold Steve Slater makes is now?
Is it a 28-inch?
It's a 24 586.
Jeez.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know they were making molds for that. But you know what? Someone could take on Brian Shaw. It could be you.
Yeah, maybe.
Someday.
Yeah, I already have a Slater mold. I have a 21-inch Slater mold. Just need to dump some lead in it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, get that, get a nice heavy stone with that. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to add today?
No, I'm good, man. It's great talking to y'all.
Yeah, this was fun. It was good talking to you. Again, congrats on your recent success, and looking forward to seeing what you do in the future. You want to follow your training? It's Berserker Lifter on Instagram. Puts up lots of good training videos, and I think it's fun to watch because you are training by yourself. It's not this perfect gym, with every equipment. So you're coming up with what's the hardest strongman is just being creative on finding ways to train for events instead of worrying about how you can't. And you definitely do that. So I everyone should go out and check it out and see what you're going to be doing in the future, because I think you're one to watch for sure, and appreciate you coming on. And thanks for coming on, Mike.
Thank you.
You can follow myself at Starting Strongman for all that, at Let Kalle Lift, personal accounts. Follow Mike at Chrono Strength. And, happy holidays and New Year's whenever anyone's going to be listening to this. And
one final thing, Kalle.
Sure.
I know I've said that several times. But, hey, Trey, do you think those kids that you yelled at that walked in front of your deadlift video have stopped crying yet? That was Kalle. You remember that, right? That was a terrifying video. Like mid-rep with 800 something pounds, these kids walk in front of the video, and I don't think they will ever walk in front of a camera for the rest of their lives.
I don't think they're ever coming back to a gym.
I don't think so either. They've given up. They're like, it's just not worth it, man. Not if we got to see that guy again.
So what's this? Yeah,
they're definitely more wary.
they're
definitely more wary around me.
So you've seen them since?
Yeah, they still come into that gym. I visit every once in a while.
Yeah, that's when
But yeah, they're just a little wary.
That's when the internal berserker came out a little bit, because you're so, soft-spoken and quiet and everything, and then, but like you say, you kind of bring it when you lift. That's a moment where it kind of went out of not just being directed at a weight for a second.
Yeah, I mean, World's Strongest Meme could probably turn that into something with the Superman laser eyes, coming out at the guys, and then they sort of explode. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find all these old clips, and I'll when I put the episode up, if you're just listening to this on iTunes or whatever, go to startingstrongman.com, look at the show notes, and I'll embed like a couple of those videos along with the interview, so everyone can see. Go check it out and see along.
And that 430 for 5 stone load. I don't know where that is on your social media, Trey, but
we'll find them.
That's great.
It's been. You can probably it's on YouTube. You can probably maybe find it. Back when I first started out, I got my sister to post the videos on YouTube. So
okay.
My early competition videos are underneath the the username Baby Ruth 1706.
Awesome.
All one word, Baby Ruth 1706.
It's perfect.
Like, you can pick a better name.
You can just admit that was your first, that was your first thing, and then you're like, I gotta go all the way the other direction. I'm a berserker lifter. I can't. None of this.
Yeah.
I moved on from Baby Ruth. That was me when I was like 16.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, again,
Baby Ruth.
Yeah.
The candy bar.
Well, yeah. Again, appreciate it coming on. Appreciate everyone listening. Good luck and everyone's training goals for 2018, and we're definitely gonna find some of these old videos that and these moments we're talking about, and it'll be up with the show notes on startingstrongman.com, and we'll talk to you all next week.